Alrighty guys, we are once again hitting at 70% in our last 45 board member tier package bets on my website. And if you want to see a full video breakdown of every single one of my personal sports bets here today, there's only one way to do that, and that's to join my board member package. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today for Friday, April 7th, 2023. Happy Good Friday to you. The weekend's finally here, and of course, this is our part 2 video. Part 1 I released a couple of hours ago. But anyway, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, guys, I'm hitting at 70% my last 45 board member tier package bets on that site. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal plays here today, games that I personally have my own action on, there's only one way to do that, and that's to join my board member package. If you sign up here today, not only are you going to get access to my board member package for the next 30 days, you're also going to get access to my board member podcast every single day, as well as all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. Now, the math works out to be just $1.66 a day if you sign up here today. That's cheaper than your daily cup of coffee. And of course, most other handicappers, they're going to charge a couple $100 just for a day or two of service. And I'll tell you what, I currently have over 545 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on patreon.com/BrockPage is I actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at the Sixers at the Hawks, 7:30 Eastern start time. Atlanta's minus 10.5, totals 236. And even though Joel Embiid's inactive here today, I'm not sure the Hawks are playing good enough defense this year to cover this number. They're allowing 118 points a game, and their opponents are making nearly 50% of their field goals against them. When it comes to covering, the Hawks failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6, and they currently have a losing record against the point spread at home. Now they're facing a Philly team on the other side, who's the best three-point shooting team in the game right now. James Harden's knocking down nearly 40% of his long balls. He also ranks second on the team in scoring. Meanwhile, George Niang, he's making just about 40% of his shots from beyond the arc. Now, injury-wise, Melton and Maxey are banged up. Embiid is inactive. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, DeAndre Hunter is questionable for them. When it comes to the total, the Hawks saw unders against the likes of Brooklyn, Cleveland, and Memphis. They're also averaging just 101 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Philly. Now, the Sixers went 7-3 the under in their last 10 themselves. And out of their last 10 meetings with Atlanta, the under cashed in 90% of those ball games. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Give me the Sixers plus 10.5, under 236. Next matchup, Raptors-Celtics, 7:30 p.m. East. Boston's minus 2.5, totals 222 and a hook. But the Celtics are 30-9 in the Garden, and they've really had Toronto's number in recent gatherings. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games against the Raptors. They also held Toronto to just 106 points a game in those meetings. Jason Tatum grabs over 7.5 defensive boards a game. He has a bunch of steals on this season. Now, Tatum also leads the active roster in points. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown scoring over 26.5 points a game himself. Now they're facing a Raptor team who's had their issues guarding the perimeter. These guys have the 3rd highest defensive field goal percentage in the NBA. They're also in the bottom 3 in defending the three-pointer as well. And in their 40 road games this season, the Raptors picked up the W only 14 times. Now, injury-wise, the Raptors are mostly healthy at the moment. Just a small bright spot here for them. Man, spit it out. Boston, Smart, Brogdon, White, Pritchard, banged up. Keep an eye on them. Total, Boston, 4 out of their last 7, under. Philly, San Antonio, very Toronto team. Matter of fact, 6 out of their last 10 gatherings with Toronto fell under the total. Once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Now, Toronto on the other side, they went 7-2 to the under in their last 8. Give me Boston -2.5, under 222 and a hook. Next matchup, Grizzlies Bucks, 8 o'clock East. Memphis is -8, totals 228. Now the Grizzlies got the W in 7 out of their last 10. They've gone a staggering 19-1 when favored against an Eastern Conference opponent. John Morant scores a team-high 26 points a game along with 8 assists. Meanwhile, Desmond Bane is drilling 40% of his attempts from downtown. Now they're facing a Milwaukee team who's sitting most of their stars. Lopez, Holiday, Middleton, Giannis, Connaughton, and Allen, they're all inactive. And even when these guys are mostly healthy, Milwaukee's one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the East. Now, total-wise, Milwaukee's gone 60% to the over in the Fiserv Forum this year. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies are 10-4 to the over against Eastern Conference opponents on the road. Give me Memphis -8, over 228. Next game, Knicks, Pels, 8 o'clock East. New Orleans is -8.5, totals 223 and a hook. Now, the Pels won 8 out of their last 10. They covered in 80% of those ball games. Brandon Ingram's averaging 24.5 points a game, and he also drills 40% of his 3 balls. Meanwhile, C.J. McCollum scoring 20 points per contest himself. He also knocks down just about 40% of his attempts from 3-land. Now, when it comes to defensive play, the Pels have the lowest defensive 3-point percentage in the NBA. Now, they're facing a depleted Knicks roster who already struggles shooting from the field. And in their last 8 ball games, the Knicks failed to cover against the likes of Washington, Orlando, and Minnesota. Now, injury-wise, Randall, Brunson, Jeffries, and Washington are out. R.J. Barrett's also listed as questionable. And when it comes to the total, New York's 10-4 to the under against Western Conference opponents on the road. Meanwhile, the Pels saw 7 out of their last 10 stay under the line themselves. Give me the Pelicans -8.5, under 223 and a hook. Next game, Bulls Mavericks, 8:30 p.m. East. Dallas is -10.5, totals 230. For a team laying double digits in this spot here, I think it's important for you to know that Dallas is the worst covering team in the NBA. They're currently 12-27 against the number in their own arena. They're also dead last in offensive boards. Now they're facing a Chicago team who's incredibly tough to score against when they travel. Chicago's actually in the top 5 in fewest points allowed on the road. Nikola Vucevic, he has a handful of blocks on the season. He also grabs nearly double-digit defensive boards a night. Patrick Williams, he also knocks down 41% of his three-pointers. When it comes to the total, the Mavs saw unders in 7 out of their last 10 outings. Unders against the likes of the Kings, Sixers, and Pacers. In their last 10 meetings with Chicago, the under cashed in 60% of those ball games. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Now, Chicago saw unders recently against the likes of the Bucks, Hornets, and Sixers. They also held the Mavs to just 108 points a game in their last 10 head-to-head contests. Give me Chicago +10.5, under 230. Next matchup, Warriors-Kings, 10 o'clock East. Golden State's -9.5, totals 235. And even though the Kings do have a slew of guys on the injury report, it's the Warriors who have yet to reach double-digit victories on the road. Now, equally as bad, Golden State's covering in only 25% of their road games against Western Conference opponents. The Golden State's biggest issue has been defensive play. They're actually allowing 124 points a game away from the Chase Center. And even though the Kings are probably sitting out most of their studs, they covered the point spread in 4 out of their last 5 outings. Now, injury-wise, Lyles, Sabonis, Monk, Fox, Herter, Mitchell, and Murray, they're all listed as questionable. Keep an eye on them. Dellavedova is still out. Meanwhile, for Golden State, on the other side, Wiggins, Rollins, and Iguodala are still out for them. Thompson's currently questionable. When it comes to the total, Golden State saw 72% of their road games get over the number. Meanwhile, Sacramento is 27-13 at the over in the Golden One Center. Give me Sacramento +9.5, over 235. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in the Suns-Lakers game, 10:30 p.m. East. The LA Lakers are -9, totals 225.5. And for a team laying nearly double digits here, the Lakers sure have had their hands full with Phoenix in recent gatherings. The Lakers lost 9 out of their last 10 ball games against the Suns. They successfully covered in just 20% of those outings. When it comes to defensive play, the Lakers are grabbing fewer defensive boards at home than any other club in the league except for one. Now they're facing a Phoenix team who's in the top 10 in offensive rebounding on the road. DeAndre Ayton, he snags double-digit rebounds a game. He also scores 18 points per contest. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, they're averaging over 26 points per contest, respectively. Now, injury-wise, the Suns are mostly healthy, except for T.J. Warren. Keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, for the Lakers, LeBron, AD, and D'Angelo Russell, they are all questionable to suit up. When it comes to the total, LA's 23-16 to the under in the Crypt. They've also averaged just 102 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Phoenix. Give me the Suns +9, under 225.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me the Sixers +10.5, under 236. Boston -2.5, under 222 and a hook. Memphis -8, over 228. New Orleans Pelicans -8.5, under 223.5. Chicago +10.5, under 230. Sacramento +9.5, over 235. And with my next and final free pick for the video, give me the Suns +9, under 225.5.